I personally opened positions in both of these companies this week. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do a Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner daily update weekend edition. I want to go through what's going on. I think we just had a big rally in Bitcoin, and we're having a little bit of a reset. So we're going to look at Bitcoin so far in 2023, and I also want to look at the Bitcoin miners in detail in the year 2023 as well. So I got a lot of data coming at you guys. If you're new to the channel or you have not yet hit the subscribe button, please do us a favor and subscribe to the channel, and you can hit the notification bell if you're interested in getting alerts whenever we put out a video. Also, if you could please smash the like button, it helps the channel out a lot. It helps us in the algorithm, so we appreciate that greatly. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin. Okay, I want to start on some charts that I make. This is comparing where all the Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin were at the close of the equity markets in the US this Friday versus the close of the equity markets in the US on the previous Friday, which was February 3rd. So you can see this last week was a red week. So we've had a very, very, very green 2023. Almost every week has been green. This week we did have a little bit of a pullback. You're going to see a gold line that's down -7%. That is what Bitcoin did this week. And you're going to see the Bitcoin miners had a leveraged reaction to that, anywhere from a 2x to a 3x to even a 4x leverage reaction. So if we look at some of the bigger Bitcoin miners, Marathon is down 16%. That is the second largest Bitcoin miner by market cap. Cypher is down 18%. That's the third largest Bitcoin miner by market cap. Riot's down 19%. That's the largest Bitcoin miner by market cap. So that's getting very near a 3x leverage at that point. But the main takeaway from this is we clearly had a pause this week. Everything had a pullback. The worst one was Bit Digital, and that was a 26% pullback. So when I go to the year to dates, you're going to see for most of these, they're still way up on the year. So this was by far the least volatile week of the year. And I will continue to say, I think that 2023 is going to be massive volatility. Okay, so the last chart we just looked at was red. This chart you can see is very green. This chart is year to date. So this goes from January 1st, 2023 to February 10th, which was this Friday. So in that period of time, you're going to see every single Bitcoin miner, with the exception of one, is in the green. For most of you that have been trading Bitcoin over the last month and a half, although we've had a little pullback, this was a monster run up. You're going to see at the top of this list, you have DigiHost. Even after pulling back quite a bit, they're still up 317%, and that's just this year. So again, that's 5 weeks right now. So this is a relatively short period of time. For those of you who are not investing in the Bitcoin miners yet, or who were waiting for a bottom or Bitcoin to get a lower low and you feel like you missed the run up, not financial advice, but for some of you, this may be the opportunity you were waiting for a little bit of a pullback and an opportunity for an entry point into some of these stocks. Core Scientific's up 260%. Now, of course, they're in chapter 11, and that's a bit of a different story, but they have run up dramatically. At one point, they were up over 1,000% from their lows in December to their highs in January. Cypher's up 170%, and that is now the third largest market cap out of all the Bitcoin miners, so that made a lot of progress. We will take a look at market cap in a few minutes. Okay, still several more up over 100% just in 2023. Mawson's up 123%, Gree's up 123%, Hive Blockchain's up 106%, Bitfarms is up 105%, and the ones that are very close, Hut is up 98%, and Bit Digital's up 97%. So that is an awful lot of stocks that have basically pulled anywhere from a double to a triple or a quadruple so far in the year 2023. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, there are some stocks that seem to be lagging behind. You'll see a gold line up 31% year to date. That is Bitcoin itself. So Bitcoin is still way up from its lows. Riot's the biggest market cap out of all the Bitcoin miners. Marathon's the second biggest market cap out of all the Bitcoin miners. Marathon's up 73% year to date, and Riot is up 63% year to date. While those are big numbers, and in real dollars, they represent much bigger increases. As a percentage, these are lagging behind a lot of these Bitcoin miners that are already well over 100%. Year to date. Then there's CleanSpark, in my opinion, that's up 45%. So for me, I think that is lagging the field. They did just release their financial statements on Friday, and the reaction was not very good to them, although I was not very surprised by their financial statements. Obviously, in the period ended December 31st, 2022, Bitcoin had 3 full months of being at or near its lows. So as a result, revenue was not good and net income was not good. So CleanSpark to me feels a little oversold. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you guys what I'm looking at, and I'm giving you the numbers and the facts so that you guys can use this for your own due diligence and make your own decisions. There are two that are behind Bitcoin, and they are Stronghold, which is only up 8%, and Wolf, TeraWolf, which is actually down 4% from the first day of the year. So I will tell you, I personally opened positions in both of these companies this week. I thought over the last week and a half, each of these companies had very similar and what I believe is very good news. They were both able to massively restructure their debt, significantly improving their liquidity situation. Now, both of these companies were on my list of 6 companies that I thought had a massive liquidity problem and were in imminent danger. So I put that list out 2 or 3 months ago. But subsequent to that, with these gigantic changes that they've made, and in addition to that, Wolf raised $32 million. So their stock actually took a little hit because of the dilution, but the fact is they needed that $32 million, and they restructured their debt on top of that. So for that reason, during what I thought was the bear market and the crypto winter, I had gotten down to only, at one point, down to 4 open positions in Bitcoin miners. So I am now expanding that. I think we've hit the bottom. I think we hit the bottom last June. I think we had a little bit of a revisit on the FTX situation in November, but I think we've been moving in the right direction, and I think that that is going to continue. Again, that is not, in my opinion, that is not going to be up in a straight line. It doesn't even mean I think we're going to hit our all-time highs in 2023. But I do think in the middle there will be massive, massive volatility. So that's the main thing I'm trying to trade around and be careful of, is this volatility, these giant up weeks and followed by giant down weeks. We'll see that year to date, in total, Stronghold and Wolf are the 2 lagging performers by far out of all the Bitcoin miners. And to me, both of those companies got some very, very positive news. Okay, so real quickly, this is a chart. On August 15th of 2022, Bitcoin hit about 25,000. Bitcoin is now 14% off of where it was at the end of the relief rally last August. And all of these Bitcoin miners, once again, are a leveraged play to the downside. They're anywhere from, the next closest one here is down double. The one exception is DigiHost, which is actually outpacing Bitcoin. Other than that, these things are down between 30% and 92% since August of 2022, whereas Bitcoin is only down 14% and has been very close to getting back to that $25,000 number. I am still targeting that $25,000 number, so that's why I show this particular graph. I'm looking at some of these companies like Bitfarms, which has made significant improvements to the health of their balance sheet and has had operational excellence, in my opinion, month after month after month, yet they're down 61% in the same period of time that Bitcoin is down 14%. So are there opportunities on this list? This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to look at these in as many different ways as I possibly can to see if opportunities seem to be jumping out at me. And then obviously you've got to dive deeper than that, but this is a great place to make a watch list. So for instance, you've got Marathon down 69%, whereas Riot's only down 48%. Those 2 companies have competed in market cap, and they've traded in tandem for a long, long time. So you can see since August of 2022, Riot has outperformed Marathon. So some of these companies, like Argo Blockchain, is down 73%, but they have had to drastically change their business model since August of 2022. So there is a reason that some of these are down this low. So you've got to be careful. This is where your due diligence is important. You need to understand why these companies are down so much. Are they just down with the tide? Iris Energy, Stronghold Energy, Gree, and Core Scientific, all those companies had dramatic changes to the way they conduct business. So there may be some valid reasons for them to be down this far. But I do think that some of these in the middle represent potentially really good opportunities. Lastly, if we just take a quick look at market cap, I just want to show you a few things here. You can see that right now Riot is kind of running away with being the largest market cap company. Riot and Marathon have flip-flopped over the years. Marathon was bigger than Riot just a few weeks ago, and then it flipped back around and Riot pulled back ahead. So these two seem like they're far apart, but these two actually have separated themselves from the rest of the field from a market cap standpoint. And then it's worth noting, like we talked about, Cypher is here at 374,000. That is the next largest market cap out of all the Bitcoin mining companies. Hut is in 4th place at 330,000. After these 4, there's a big drop-off down into to somewhere around the $250,000 mark, and you'll see Hive and CleanSpark. Bitfarms is under $200 million. Then you've got a bunch hanging around at about $100 million. You've got a bunch of nano-cap stocks in this industry under $50 million at $40 million, $30 million, $20 million. All of these companies are still down drastically off of their all-time highs from a year or a year and a half ago, somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 90% still. So you can see from a volatility standpoint, it's easy for a $27 million company to pull a 3x or a 5x. They don't have to add that much market cap in order to do so, especially something like a Stronghold. Stronghold in 2022 was as high as a $250 million market cap. It's now an $18 million market cap. This company could 10x and still be nowhere near the market cap it was just 1 year ago. So there is a lot of room to the upside if Bitcoin can stay healthy and if Bitcoin can find the next leg of this rally. I'm just going to very quickly take a look at what has happened with Bitcoin. You'll see back on November 9th, we bottomed out here. November 8th and November 9th were the days that the market was reacting to the FTX situation. So these were drastic down days. They were a bit of a flash crash. We settled out, and then about 2 weeks later, we did retest those lows. So from that point on November 21st, up until the peak of this rally, which was somewhere around February 2nd, so somewhere around a week ago, this was almost a 58% rally. This is by far the biggest rally we've had in a long time. This is the biggest rally we've had since October of 2021. And if you remember, that's just 1 month before Bitcoin hit its all-time high in November of 2021. So I do think this spells a change in the momentum. And like I said, I don't think it's up in a straight line from here, but I do think there's a lot of lines of support. I'm just going to take a look at one thing on the chart. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that I have a blue line here somewhere around 21,478, so just under 21,500. That line was resistance for Bitcoin back in the middle of January. As soon as we jumped above this line, we have not been below this line since, and you can see we did find support as recently as Friday. We bounced off of this line. So one of the things that I'm hoping is that this line can hold as support and we can take the next leg up from here. However, I will say Bitcoin's in a very indecisive moment. We could just as easily take a turn down and test somewhere around this $20,000 mark. But I do think either way, we will find a line of support and then continue our rally upward. It's just a matter of how far down are we going to go in the middle. Again, I think the best case scenario is that this blue line holds, which has been a fairly strong line. So I'm going to play this week by ear. Obviously, we have CPI coming out Tuesday morning, so I will do a video tomorrow regarding that and what I plan on doing ahead of the CPI data. So I hope everybody's enjoying their weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.